Hi everyone, welcome to week 2 of English 1 IN5. So a few things before we get started. I'm in the process of going through your discussion board posts and your introduction to blog writing assignments from this past week. Please give me until Tuesday to get those back to you. From what I could tell on our discussion board, I think you guys have gotten some really good conversation going. And for the most part, I think a lot of your concerns about this class are things that we'll definitely work on over the course of this semester. So I'm hoping that some of the goals that you all presented, like wanting to be more organized, wanting to be more confident with your writing, just wanting to improve overall, that's definitely something that we will accomplish by the end of the semester. So thank you for being here, and we'll get started for this week. So before we start talking about your blog posts, I wanted to take a minute to talk about email. So some of you have emailed me over the course of the last week or two, which is fabulous. I love hearing from students, especially those I don't see face to face. But a few things. So I want you guys to keep in mind that just like when you're writing an essay or anything that's rhetoric based, that you have an audience that you're writing to, i.e. me. So a few things. I teach over 120 students this semester, and that ranges each semester. I only have one online class this spring, but I have taught several before. So a few things to keep in mind is that you'll want to have a proper greeting on your email. Hello, hi, good morning, all of those are fine. Introduce yourself, tell me who you are and which class you're in, especially my online courses, since I don't see you face to face. I really can't say that I remember everyone automatically, especially in the first few weeks. So if you're emailing me, please, please, please tell me who you are and which course you're in. If you have a question about an assignment, please be specific, i.e. I was working on the introduction to blog writing assignment that's due on Sunday and I had a question. It doesn't have to be super fancy, but this way I know who you are, I know what you need, and I can respond accordingly. I've had several people email me without a message or without telling me who they are, and then it takes me quite a while to kind of figure out how I can best respond. So in addition to that, please do not email me a blank email with an attachment. So anything that you need to turn in for my course is going to be done through our Blackboard shell. So if you're emailing me something to turn it in, it's not going to get graded. Unfortunately, I really can't manage both between the large number of students that I have and the courses that I teach. So a couple things to keep in mind. Give me a greeting, tell me who you are, and please post any assignments through Blackboard. The instructions for that are clear in our syllabus and on Blackboard, but I thought maybe everybody could use a little reminder. So now that we've gotten email out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about your blogs for this week. So I looked over some of your guys' topics that you've chosen, and I think we're going to end up with a really cool variety of topics. So I'm really excited to see where we go from here. So the readings that you'll need to do for this week, one of them talks about thesis writing. So I wanted to take a second to kind of discuss, okay, what is a thesis? Why does a blog need one? And sort of how do you do that? So a thesis is essentially one sentence, the answer to a question that gives your opinion or your argument about a topic. So for example, say I chose the new Star Wars movie to write about. And I wanted to write my blog about how I think this Star Wars movie is the worst of the set. Controversial, right? You may not agree with me, and that's actually what makes it good. So my thesis would be, I think that this most recent Star Wars movie is the least entertaining of all that have been made. All right. So where would that thesis go in my blog post? Well, probably towards the end of my first or second paragraph. It needs to be soon, right? So your reader knows what you're arguing, but you don't want it to be the first sentence that you start off with. So your thesis is not your title. It's not a question, but what it is, it's the answer to that question. So I had you guys kind of think about a topic, And this week, I'd like you to think about, now, what are you going to argue about that topic? So once you settle on a thesis, which we'll work on, then you have to decide, okay, what are my reasons? What evidence do I have for this? And one of my reasons for my Star Wars argument might be, well, I felt that maybe there were a couple too many loose ends they were trying to finish up in this movie. And spoiler alert, they killed off Kylo Ren, which is one of my favorites. So that might be 2 reasons I might give for my blog post. All right, so I've got my thesis, I've got some reasons. Some other evidence could really be just maybe I tell the story of how when I went to the theater with my family, we were all really excited to see the movie. And then afterwards, we had some conversations about how it wasn't what we were expecting. So even though you're kind of giving your personal experience, what it does is it supports the argument that you're trying to make. So for this blog post, you can use iLanguage. We will work on taking that out of your writing further in the semester. But what I'd like you to focus on, particularly this week, is settle on a strong thesis, a strong argument. Are you saying something that not everyone would agree with? Are you encouraging conversation? Are you encouraging debate? Is it specific? Do you have a focus? Do you have a clear audience that you're talking to other college students who are at SWIC, variety of ages, but who kind of all might have similar experiences? So are you considering those things with your blog? So the assignments we're going to do this week will focus on writing thesis statements and then organizing your writing. So the only other thing I'd like you to be mindful of is that your draft, so that kind of first copy of your blog, is going to be done in groups on Blackboard. So before you freak out, I will manually set you to be in a group on Blackboard. And then what's going to happen is you'll post your draft to that page. And next week, your classmates are going to comment on and give you feedback to your blog post on how you could improve it. So there's a video I'm going to have you watch on creating and editing blogs in Blackboard. And I want you to be aware that if you need Blackboard help, over on the left-hand menu of our course, scroll all the way down. There's a link to the Blackboard help site. If you also need help, IT is available, or I can probably help you out as well. So be mindful this week of when you email me for help that you're drafting your blog with a group. So keep that in mind. And then I want you to kind of settle on, what am I arguing? What is my point? What's my opinion? And how am I going to support it in this blog? So your first draft of your blog post is going to be due by Sunday night. And I do encourage you guys to get started early. These are not assignments that you can do in an hour. If you do, that's going to show in your writing. So good luck. Let me know if you have questions, and I look forward to reading more from you guys.